Welcome to Crossing Line Sports. My name is Carlos Smith, and right now I have with me another very special guest. He is the head coach of Florida A&M, Coach James Colzie. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Thanks for having me.
Coach James Colzie III. Let me ask
Yes,
you.
well, yeah. My dad might get on me about
Yes,
that.
sir.
So, yeah, I'm not supposed to answer to that until they say the third. But great to be here. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, how does it feel to be, the new head coach of Florida A&M and walking in here to Media Day with so many great historical black colleges? How does it feel to be the new head coach again?
Well, extremely excited, obviously. You get a chance to be the 19th head football coach. You're walking into the hallways every day and you seeing the greats of, Coach Gaither, Coach Hubbard, Coach Joe, Coach Simmons now, obviously as a former head coach, and you see all the records, all the championships. It's hard to run from those things when you see them every single day. But I think the biggest thing is obviously being around my guys. I got a really, really good group of players, senior guys that are going to do a really, really good job for us this season. But, the list goes on and on about all the positives of being the head football coach at Florida A&M.
When you got the nod to be the new head coach, can you talk a little bit about, what you were feeling and what it meant to you to get that nod and the recognition of becoming the next head coach of A&M?
Well, when I got the call from A.D. Sykes, believe it or not, I was in Miami, Florida, doing some recruiting. And, obviously, everything that was going on from when I was named the interim up until that point, I never lost that job. I never lost that interim title. I never lost the goal or the sight or the hope to be the head coach. And with Ms. Sykes, obviously, we were very, very transparent as far as, what possibly could happen. But in our meetings and everything that we spoke about, she wanted me to attack this job as being the head coach, which meant going out there and checking classes in the month of January, making sure that our guys are doing what they need to do in the weight room. So, obviously, when I got the nod, I had to come back to Tallahassee to do the announcing and all the interview, and then believe it or not, that next day I was back out and we were in Kansas, and I was recruiting JUCOs there. So I never lost sight, I would say, of having that opportunity, and hopefully I never have to lose that sight again.
Absolutely. Does it make it easier? That transition somewhat easier, being that you were already at A&M, as an interim? Does it make the transition to stepping in as a full coach easier?
Well, it did. Obviously knowing the guys, and obviously, talking to my players throughout January, hey, coach, letting me know, hey, coach, if you're named the head coach, we're not going anywhere, stuff like that. So it made it a lot easier for us to keep our roster, which was always great. But it's from the time being named interim to the time being named head coach, I did everything as if I was going to be named the head coach, and that was meetings, that was lifting. So, when it went again for me, I guess when I was named, yes, a little bit of a relief, but now it's the magnitude is even higher because you are now the head coach. The whole country knows you're the head coach, as opposed to just a locker room hoping and understanding that you may be the head coach. But now, once being named, obviously the country and the whole country knew, and a little bit of pressure. But honestly, this is the best job in the country, and I'm excited to walk into that building every single day.
And I was getting ready to ask you about that. Having that official title. And looking at what you guys accomplished, had a great year last year, winning the SWAC, winning the Celebration Bowl. To see what you guys accomplished last year as the champions, and now with the official title, do you feel any type of pressure to kind of live up to some expectations of the standard that was set?
Well, obviously with this job, you have to go across the country, and visit with certain alumni and visit with them, and whether it's class of 51 of someone I met in D.C. compared to someone who just graduated in the spring of 24. Even though it's a different year, the expectations are the same. You go through this run that we had last year, going 12-1, and playing the SWAC championship game at your home field, and then obviously getting a chance to go to Atlanta and play and win the Celebration Bowl. A lot of people like that journey, so they really, really want to have that opportunity to go on that journey again. So it's not just the fans, it's the players, it's the coaches. So yeah, a little bit of pressure, but that's also part of being the head coach at FAM, and also being in the SWAC, also being the reigning national champion. So I think our guys are going to they're excited about it. They're excited to get the season started. And obviously as the head coach, this is my chance, obviously as the head coach to be able to put my thumbprint on the program as well.
What type of identity do you look to implement on this team, now like you said, being a coach, like what type of identity do you want to just stamp on here immediately as a coach?
Well, we are already established part of it where we're a player-led team. I don't want as coaches us to be the ones that have to get on our players. And we got a very, very good group of seniors. We have 19 graduate transfers on our roster, and then we have another 19 other seniors on our roster. So, those guys are handling some of the small things that hopefully our coaches don't have to worry about, and they're doing a really, really good job. Now, also just making sure we're being detailed in every single thing we do, not just in football, but in communication, how we go about our business on campus, how we go about our business talking to other people. So just making sure we're doing those things, because those are the things I think I get on them more so than football, communicating, talking to people, how we go about our business. So, and I'm not saying we didn't do that previously, but those are some of the things that I'm harping on with our guys. How we are going about our daily business when we're not playing football, making sure we're taking care of those small things as we go day to day.
Absolutely. During this time where the guys are in the off season, how do you make sure the guys are? Is it something that you leave up to them as far as like the responsibility? Making sure these guys show up in shape and stay in discipline. Like, how do you try to maintain and make sure these guys are up to par once they get there? Because of course you don't get into football shape until you're actually on the field playing.
Right.
But to make sure those guys are doing the things that they need to be doing when they're away from the facility.
Well, I'll say this. We were very, very different compared to our summer of 23 than how we are the summer of 2024. Now, summer of 23, very veteran group. Our quarterback, Jeremy Musa was controlling the 7-on-7s, and our defensive backs were controlling 7-on-7s, where coaches didn't necessarily have to be at all of that. Where we're now having the opportunity to do OTAs with our staff. Since we started summer school May 13th and up until when I left our guys yesterday, we got 92 guys on campus right now. And they've lifted every day, they've ran every day. We worked on install every day. We worked on skill development every day. Obviously everything within compliance rules, but we as a coaching staff put a lot more structure into our calendar so guys knew where they had to be when they were doing it. We're doing everything at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, that is a little bit different compared to what we did last year, but that wasn't a Coach Simmons thing. That was just, our veterans last year, they controlled it, where we don't have that necessary veteran leadership that we lost last year with the Isaiah Major and the Cheneys and stuff of that nature. So we put it on them, right? This is when we're doing it. These are the times. This is when we're lifting. So, that would probably be the biggest difference, where we know where our guys are, right? We know minus our 5 to 6 guys who are also, transfer portal guys that we're waiting for them to graduate. So, those are guys that are coming right when training camp starts. But I thought as a staff, support staff, coaching staff, and admin, allowing us within the rules, obviously allowing us to be able to have our guys being with us throughout the entire summer.
Absolutely. When you talk about the transfer portal, Coach, what do you like about it, and what do you maybe not like too much about it? Because one of the things, it seems like it kind of helps you rebuild a team quickly, but then also you see, guys just leaving left and right. What do you like about it? What do you don't like?
Well, I love it this year, obviously, with some of the guys that we lost, but having the ability to replace them with similar type players. I think, the easy answer for why I don't like it is because you do lose guys. We lost some really good defensive linemen, right, that are going on to Power 4 schools and Cooper 5 schools. So, it makes us we had to kind of go deep into who we were looking for, because the guys that we were replacing, we were trying to duplicate those type of players. Well, both those players that we lost were all SWAC defenders. So we had to be picky about who we were trying to go after. And us being picky, we said no to a lot of those other guys because they weren't similar to what we wanted. So, now we did get who we wanted. We're excited about being picky and getting the players that we want. But it allows you to get better, maybe quicker than you may like. But you also have to possibly re-recruit every year, which is not. I love to recruit, but not have to re-recruit. I love to recruit, but not have to possibly re-recruit our guys.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that last year I had a conversation with my old high school football coach, Coach Robinson. He's the assistant coach at Union High School in South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things I was asking him about the transfer portal and NIL, and he was saying that one of the concerns that he had with the transfer portal is, let's say you have a high school kid who's on the verge of potentially getting a scholarship, but then the coach goes into the portal and he grabs a player from there.
Well,
what do you do to that kid that's on the verge of potentially, getting a scholarship? In that situation, what would you say about something like that?
I mean, I couldn't even mention about how I failed to mention that what it's doing to high school recruiting. I mean, obviously over the last couple of years, that's hurt high school kids a lot. It's kind of changed the landscape because with high school kids now, they're graduating early, right, to try to get the programs. I mean, for coaches like that, but I actually don't like it because I don't think a high school kid's getting his true high school experience, right? He's missing out on so many things by not being there from January through July, which would be his normal high school senior year. But that's a whole different story. I mean, obviously, teams are looking to get better, right? And you have to decide for a transfer portal guy, a JUCO guy, and a high school guy. And now percentages tell you most coaches are going to try to go through the portal first, then possibly a JUCO guy, and last but not least, the high school kid, right? So it's tough. It's tough. Now we, as FAMU goes, we've been heavy portal since I've been there. We had our camp this past summer, and we wanted to institute making sure we offered high school guys, making sure we had high school guys there that we can take a look at. Obviously, we were able to offer some really, really good high school players. So, again, it's going to be important for us to lay the foundation at some of these high schools, and I think we've done a good job up to this point. But I can't say how much the portal has hurt high school recruiting because I think every coach would agree that it's definitely hampered it.
Absolutely. I got a couple more questions about the portal real quick.
Yes, sir.
With the portal, like you're saying, when you have guys on your team that are excelling at a high level, and all American, all SWAC, everything that comes their way, is that something that you worry about? It's like, man, my guy, he's playing at a high level, extremely high level. He may end up leaving after the season. That's something that runs through the back of your mind, knowing that when these guys play so great, the teams are going to potentially come and try to pick them up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can tell you this. We talk about it in our staff meetings a lot. We know if guys are having success, other schools are going to look at them. But the way I look at it is, if those guys are having success, that means as a team we're having success. So that's always a plus. And again, we have a couple guys this upcoming year, that we've spoken about possibly being in the portal. So hey, if we're having success and we're playing on national television and we're winning football games, and guys are getting that opportunity to go to the Group of 5 or Power 4 level, more power to them. I'm happy for them. I'm gonna smack them on the butt and wish them good luck because that means they've done a great job at Florida A&M, and if they feel they can go higher or play higher, I'm not going to hold them back. But again, if they're having success, that means as a team we're having success, and that's all I can ask for.
The portal is impacting teams on all major levels. But when you look at HBCUs, like I say, Coach Simmons moved on to Duke.
Yep.
Like you say, you have players that move on for different reasons. Some of them may be financial reasons, which is fine. Is there anything that we could do as far as like with HBCUs to try to keep players and coaches at these universities to continue to elevate the level of HBCU?
Well, I mean, I think the elephant in the room is financial, right? I mean, a lot of people when they're going to these other institutions, right? They're quote unquote better opportunities, but in all reality, they're better opportunities because they might be paying financially a little bit better, right? So, but we're in a situation right now where HBCUs are getting the most exposure it's probably ever been in the history of the sport. And I think that is the more exposure you get, right? These guys right now, they understand at this time, you can go play in the NFL from anywhere and any university. I was at Florida State in the mid-'90s, and if you didn't go in the state of Florida, if you didn't go to Florida State, Florida, or Miami, your chances of going to the NFL were very, very slim. Well, heck, this past year, USF, UCF had more NFL players than some of the other big-time colleges in the state of Florida. So, again, you give them the opportunity to get exposure. You give them the opportunity to have a place where they can show their talents. That's always great. And again, the exposure to our university, to the conference, to all the other teams that are in the conference, that gives an opportunity for guys to go to the next level. So, hey, I can say this. At Florida A&M, we had over 23 scouts at our pro day, and then we had every single NFL scout come through our program throughout the season. So, hey, the NFL is they're going to come see us, and if they think you can play NFL, they're going to be at our practice, and you're going to have that opportunity to show them. So, and I know it's like that at a lot of the other universities. So, exposure, you play well, right? Get the honors, get all of those things. You will get that opportunity to play at the next level.
Coach, talk a little bit about your journey. Like for you, what was it that gave you that edge to say, I wanted to become a coach?
But I mean, I followed around my dad, for years. My dad's in the Florida High School Athletic Hall of Fame as a coach and as an administrator, so getting the chance to go watch him go to practice when I was 4 or 5 years old and watching how he handled his business on a daily basis. I know at times my mom pushed me out of the house to go be with my dad, but I got a chance to spend a lot of time with him, and I always felt that once I was done playing, regardless at the professional level, at the college level, I always wanted to be a coach, and I wanted to take this as high and as far as I can go. So, I've had a lot of great people that I've been surrounded by. I can tell you this: I've been coaching since 1999. I was 25 years old when I started coaching at FIU, and I've done that every year. I don't know if I can do anything else. You put me in a different era or a different realm, I don't know what the heck I'd be doing, and I probably wouldn't know what to do. But I've always wanted to do this, and this is something that's my passion. Again, I learned from the best, in my opinion, from my father, and then being around Coach Bowden, being around Coach Andrews, and the list goes on and on and on about the prominent coaches that have played a big part in my life.
I got a few more questions, and we'll get you out of here.
No problem.
What are some things, as fans, that they don't see, that goes into coaching? Because I tell people all the time, even when we're doing interviews and traveling and meeting so many athletes and coaches and sitting with and having a platform to interview entrepreneurs as well, it's more than just setting up a camera and just starting talking. It's a lot of preparation that goes into it. As fans, they show up on game day and they just want you to win, and they love you when you're winning, and then everybody in the stands think that they can coach.
Right.
But talk a little bit about what goes into just being a coach and also a head coach as well, like the things that the fans don't see.
Well, I think just the amount of time you're putting into each individual player. We're not just coaching them football. They have to worry about strength and conditioning, so they gotta be a part of our strength and conditioning program. Obviously the day-to-day things that you're trying to prepare for them to get ready for a football game, that takes time. Then on top of that, you got practice, right? And then on top of that, as a coach, right, when they're done with practice, you have to make sure you evaluate their film on a daily basis to get them whatever mistakes or whatever things they did positive. So we there's a lot of time put in, even though we're allowed to get a certain amount of hours per week with those guys, but we're putting in more than the 20 hours allotted with that we're putting in. We only get them for 20 hours, but we're putting in more than 20 hours a week personally or individually with everyone on the staff. So we go from we start practice at 6 o'clock in the morning, but we start practice at 6 o'clock. That means our players got to be there at 4:30 or 5 o'clock just to get themselves ready. So there's a lot of things going on that people don't. They just see on Saturday we're playing, and coaching. Whether we're making good or bad calls, but there's a lot to all of those things once you get to Saturday. There's a lot of time put in before you get to those Saturday afternoons or Saturday nights when you open up or when you play a game.
My final two questions.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of young athletes, and you say we spoke about how some kids on the verge of getting a scholarship miss out because of portal and different things like that. But there are a lot of young athletes in high school right now preparing for their final year of their senior season. What advice would you have for those young men that are looking to play at the collegiate level?
Well, I'm going to say go where you're wanted. That would be the first thing for me. You get a lot of times guys are getting offers from some of these Group of 5 schools, and or some are an FCS school, and they're waiting for something else. You know what I mean? But they're not realizing that when you go to these FCS schools and you have great years, you could be at an FCS school and go up. It's proofs in the pudding with our guys. We've had a couple guys that were FCS school, did really, really well, and again went to the Group of 5 or Power 4 schools. So when these guys are sitting here waiting on offers or waiting out or waiting on this or waiting on that, ultimately, man, you might want to go to an FCS school, come to an HBCU, excel at that stuff, and hopefully you have a head coach like myself who's not going to necessarily worry about you trying to better yourself by going to a Group of 5 or a Power 4 school. That's part of it. That's part of it. And, how can I tell that kid not to leave when it's happening across the country? I want personally what's best for the kid. And if they do well for us, I promise you, if they do well for themselves, that means they did well for us, and that means we'll all have been successful.
Absolutely. And my last and final question,
yes, sir.
I'll get you out of here on this one. I didn't go to. I've been telling everybody I didn't go to HBCU. I went to USC Upstate. We're a smaller.
I know Spartanburg.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, Spartanburg.
So I'm a smaller branch of USC Gamecocks, but one of the things when I look at my journey, if I could do something differently, I would have chosen the HBCU. That's where I met my daughter's mother there. My best friend, he went to college there, and the first experience I had was going to his homecoming in South Carolina State, and it was one of the best times that I had in my whole time in college. But it feels like a family reunion every time you get there. And like you said, a lot of times, like you were saying, go where you're celebrating, not where you're tolerating.
Absolutely.
And it just feels like a family. So for you, what does the HBCU culture mean to you?
Well, similar to you, I went to Florida State, PWI, but both my parents went to Albany State. So, taking those bus rides with them, going to watching them go with their roommates and be around their roommates doing homecoming, and that was the trip. We didn't miss Christmas, and we didn't miss homecoming in old Albany, Georgia. So, but I would say this, having the chance to be at the last two homecomings at Florida A&M as a coach, you get seeing the love across the stadium, across the country, just being around all the Rattler alumni that I've been around. It's a special place. And I know I'm not just speaking just for Florida A&M. I think that goes anywhere across the country. There's at all the HBCUs that there's a certain level of love and there's a certain level of family. Once you attend those universities, and sometimes that family don't have the last name, they don't have the blood, but once you've been ingrained and you've been with them, you're going to be part of their family for the rest of each other's lives.
Absolutely, Coach Colzie, I want to thank you for your time. Congratulations on becoming head coach again, and good luck in this upcoming season. I know you got South Carolina State on the schedule this year.
We do.
My man right here, RJ.
I saw his polo. I saw his polo. I wasn't gonna say nothing. I saw it though. It's all good.
Yes,
people got love for a lot of different places. Not everybody's perfect. We can't do anything about that.
I was like, you sure you gonna wear it up here? He was like,
why not?
No doubt.
Why not?
No doubt.
Why not?
Absolutely. But Coach, thank you for your time. Good luck on the season.
And appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good job, man. Great job, bro.
Contact the professionals over at Marcus Mounts for all your TV mounting and assembly needs. The Upstate's #1 mounting company with over 4,000 TVs installed. Clean, precise, and affordable. Marcus Mounts TV Mounting Company. Contact us today for an online or over the phone quote.